my beloved child. You didn't just stumble here. This moment was written. I placed it in your path, not as a coincidence, but as a divine intersection. You've been asking, crying out in secret places, hoping someone would notice the weight your heart has carried. And I have. I have seen every silent prayer you whispered through tears when no one was watching. I have heard the longing behind your words, the trembling in your voice, the ache in your soul. You may have thought it went unnoticed because you didn't see instant change. But faith is not about immediate results. Faith is about alignment. And today, I am telling you, what you asked in prayer, it is done. You prayed when your hope was thin. You asked when your strength was fading. Still, you believed enough to speak it. And that simple act of trust moved me. You thought you were just surviving those days. But from where I sit, I saw you planting seeds in the unseen. I saw your prayers rising like incense before my throne. Every petition you made with a heart pure in intention has not only been heard, it has been fulfilled in my realm. You are about to walk into what you have already spoken. What was once invisible is about to take form. I'm not holding back. I'm unveiling. I'm revealing. I'm establishing. I am not a man that I should lie. I do not tease with promises I will not keep. If I said I would restore, then restoration is underway. If I declared favor, then favor is already surrounding you in ways you don't yet see. If I promised breakthrough, then even now, walls are crumbling behind the scenes. Stop looking only at what your eyes perceive. My hand is working in dimensions your senses cannot grasp, but your spirit feels it. That's why your heart has been stirring. That's why you feel the shift, even when you don't know how to explain it. The atmosphere is pregnant with answered prayer. You asked me for peace in the middle of the storm, not realizing I was building peace within you before I ever calmed the winds outside. You asked for provision, and though it hasn't come wrapped in the package you expected, I've been sending manna daily, grace, sustaining strength, unexpected help. You prayed for healing, and I've been healing places deeper than what the doctors could reach. I'm healing your mindset, your self-perception, your spiritual wounds. You asked me for someone to see you, and I'm showing you that I've been watching you the whole time. You are fully seen, fully known, and fully loved. Let me tell you something sacred. My answers do not always arrive with trumpets or lightning. Sometimes they appear in whispers, in nudges, in divine delays that lead to better outcomes. But even silence from me is not absence. It's strategy. And while you waited, I was orchestrating. While you questioned, I was preparing. While you cried, I was collecting every tear. Nothing you gave up in faith was wasted. No prayer you lifted in surrender vanished. My word does not return void. It accomplishes everything I sent it out to do. You are not in this season alone. I have been walking alongside you, even when the path grew narrow. I have guarded you from unseen dangers, redirected you from harmful detours, and preserved your name when others tried to stain it. I have surrounded you with favor like a shield, and I've been fighting battles for you in the unseen. Just because you haven't seen the final outcome doesn't mean it's not settled. Heaven has already declared the outcome. You just haven't stepped into the full manifestation yet, but it's coming. And when it arrives, it won't trickle in quietly. It will overflow. It will be undeniable. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are chosen. And chosen people often walk roads that seem lonely, because not everyone is assigned to the altitude I'm taking you to. You asked me to elevate you, to bless you, to use you, and I took you seriously. So I've been pruning, shaping, refining, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because where I'm taking you, your character must match your calling. Your roots must match your reach. You asked me for fruit, but I'm making sure your branches can carry the weight of what I'm about to pour. Don't let the delays fool you. Don't let the waiting deceive you. What you asked me in prayer is done. You may not hold it in your hands yet, but it's already been released in the Spirit. And now your faith is what will carry you to it. Faith is the bridge between your request and my release. Every step you take in trust is a step closer to the promise. Keep walking. Keep believing. Keep expecting. Because when I say it is done, no demon can reverse it. No circumstance can block it. No timeline can delay it. My yes is eternal. My seal is final. You're not going to leave this season empty-handed. I am the God who multiplies, who restores, who exceeds. I don't just give back what was lost. I add interest. I bring beauty out of ashes, joy out of mourning, strength out of struggle. This is not the end of your story. It's a divine turning point, a reversal of everything the enemy thought he could use to break you. What once hurt you will now build you. What once shamed you will now elevate you. I am rewriting the narrative, and it begins now. The prayers you've forgotten, I haven't. The dreams you buried, I'm resurrecting. The doors you thought were closed forever, I'm opening in ways that don't even require keys. You're not stuck. You're positioned. You're not being punished. You're being promoted. You're not overlooked. You're being protected. So lift your head, straighten your back, take a deep breath, because what you asked in prayer has already been done, and what's coming next will leave you speechless. I want you to stop for a moment and feel the reality of this truth. I have already moved on your behalf. You don't need to strive to convince me. You don't need to beg me as if I were distant or reluctant. I am neither. I am near, and I am willing. What you asked for in humility, I answered in sovereignty. I wasn't waiting for your words to be perfect. I was waiting for your heart to be open, and you opened it in faith. That was enough. You've been conditioned to believe that only the loud, the urgent, the dramatic prayers get my attention. But I'm telling you now, I'm the God who bends low to hear the whisper. I'm the God who responds to a simple, honest plea. You don't have to perform for me. You don't need rituals or repetition to earn my favor. You already have it. You have it because I chose you long before you ever knew how to choose me. You have it because my love isn't earned, it's given. Freely. Endlessly. And it's within that love that your answered prayer is unfolding. There's a reason why I didn't show you everything at once. Had I revealed the full scope of what I was doing, it would have overwhelmed you. So I moved with precision. I layered the answers beneath moments of waiting, testing, and refining. Because your heart needed strengthening to hold the blessing. Your discernment needed sharpening to steward the doors I'm opening. Your character needed anchoring so the winds of success wouldn't uproot you. I've been answering not just the prayer you spoke, but the growth you didn't know you needed. I saw when you wondered if I'd forgotten. I watched when you looked for signs that I had heard. And even when you couldn't trace my hand, I was guiding your steps. Do not confuse my silence with inactivity. In silence, I was speaking in other ways. Through people, through peace, through moments of divine restraint. You asked for clarity, but I gave you stillness. You asked for breakthrough, and I gave you endurance. Not because I ignored your prayer, but because I was preparing you for it. Understand this. Sometimes the gift isn't what you receive. It's who you become in the process of believing. You became stronger, wiser, more dependent on me. You grew into someone who could not only receive the blessing, but multiply it. That matters to me, because I am not interested in temporary relief. I am building something eternal in you, something unshakable, something that can withstand the tests and the trials. You didn't just ask me for provision. You asked me to make you a vessel of my glory, and I took you seriously. I'm not answering your prayer halfway. I'm not delivering fragments of blessing. What I'm releasing is full, abundant, and deeply aligned with your purpose. It will make sense in ways that your past couldn't explain. It will redeem what was lost and elevate what was hidden. I am not restoring you to where you were before. I am launching you into something entirely new. This is not a rerun. It's a new script. One I've been writing in the margins of your pain and in the ink of my promise. You will not be defined by what you had to endure. The wilderness was a classroom, not a sentence. The fire was a forge, not a punishment. The delay was a womb, not a denial. I was birthing something in you that the world wasn't ready to see, but now the time has come. Now the answer has arrived. What was once intangible will soon become testimony, and it will be unmistakably divine. You won't have to convince anyone that it came from me. My fingerprints will be all over it. Even now, I'm positioning the right people in your path. I'm opening doors that no man can shut. I'm aligning divine connections, shifting resources, and rerouting favor to find you. Don't be surprised when things suddenly begin to align. Don't be shocked when opportunities appear out of nowhere. This isn't random, it's divinely orchestrated. I am the God of timing, and my timing is not behind, it's perfect. You may have waited long, but you have not waited in vain. Your enemies will watch what I do for you, not to shame them, but to reveal that I am your defender. Those who doubted you, who mocked your faith, who questioned your obedience, they will see the evidence of my hand. Not because you need their approval, but because I am a God of justice, and I repay faithfulness with favor. You stayed when it was easier to run. You believed when it was easier to give up. And now I'm rewarding your perseverance with the manifestation of what was once just a whisper in your spirit. So lift your eyes again, lift your faith again, speak boldly again. Act as though the prayer is already answered, because it is. Begin to thank me not for what's coming, but for what is already done. Praise me in advance, not to earn the blessing, but to align your heart with the truth of it. Worship me, not from desperation, but from revelation. You're not chasing a miracle, you're receiving a fulfillment. And as you posture your heart with gratitude, the path becomes clear, the weight becomes lighter, and joy returns with power. This is the turning point. The shift in the atmosphere you've been sensing is real. The open heaven you've prayed for is not a dream, it's your reality. The blessing is not just for latter, it's beginning now. Walk with boldness, move with expectation, love with freedom, and remember, what you asked in prayer has already been done. I want you to walk with the confidence of one who knows the King has already spoken. You're not walking toward a possibility. You're walking in the wake of a promise already fulfilled in heaven. Everything that tries to oppose you now is only confronting the momentum of my will, and my will is unstoppable. There is no delay, no detour, no interference that can override what I have already declared done. What I have sealed cannot be undone by fear, nor can it be revoked by man. The courts of heaven have ruled in your favor. You've grown used to navigating life like you're still earning your breakthrough, but I need you to shift. I need you to move like someone who has already received it. Because the moment you prayed in faith, I released what you could not see. The answer is already in motion. It's not far. It's closer than your next breath. And the more you align your perspective with my truth, the more clearly you'll see it. What was once a matter of hope is now a matter of time. And time is no longer against you, it's on your side. Some people will question why the answer came to you. Some may even accuse you of being unqualified or unworthy. But I didn't base my decision on human standards. I based it on my covenant with you. I based it on the purity of your cry, on the battles you fought silently, on the nights you wept with no audience but me. I heard the prayers you never even had words for. I saw the faith you exercised when everything around you looked like loss. You may not have realized it then, but those moments became altars where I marked your life with divine favor. And that favor is now being activated, not just to elevate you, but to shift atmospheres around you. Your answered prayer is not only for your benefit, it's going to impact everyone connected to you. I am using you as a conduit. Through your story, others will believe again. Through your victory, others will find courage. Through your open door, others will discover what I can do when someone chooses to trust me radically. Your breakthrough is about more than your need. It's about my glory being revealed through your obedience. You were never forgotten in the process. Even when others overlooked you, dismissed you, or counted you out, I never did. I counted every tear. I recorded every act of quiet faith. I stood beside you in every silent battle. You may have felt alone, but you were never abandoned. You may have doubted, but I never did. I believed in the outcome, even when you couldn't see it. I never questioned your worth. I never withheld my presence. I was preparing something so weighty, so precise, that I had to protect the process until it was ready. There were moments you wanted me to hurry, to change the outcome quickly, to bring relief without delay. But if I had done it then, you would have missed the full measure of what I wanted to give. I was not withholding out of cruelty. I was waiting for the right time. A time when your character had caught up with your calling. A time when your discernment could protect what I'm placing in your hands. A time when you were mature enough to receive not only the blessing but the responsibility that comes with it. Now that time has arrived, I want you to begin living from the reality that heaven is backing you. When you speak, speak with conviction. When you pray, pray with expectation. When you act, act without apology. You're not stepping into unknown territory, you're claiming land I've already given you. Let your heart catch up to what your spirit already knows. This is fulfillment season. This is the beginning of abundance. This is the moment the seeds you sowed in tears will bloom in joy. You're not entering it by accident, you were born for this hour. There will be signs, clear ones. Moments that will feel like divine coincidences. But they are not coincidences at all. They are confirmations. I'm going to begin highlighting my fingerprints on things you once thought were random. You'll realize I was weaving details together with surgical precision. Conversations, encounters, even delays that frustrated you, they were all part of the alignment. Nothing was wasted. Not a single moment of suffering. Not a single detour. I repurposed it all to position you for this release. You may have entered this year uncertain, worn down by past disappointments, hesitant to hope again. But I'm rewriting your story. The heaviness is lifting. The fear is dissolving. The shame that used to chase you is being replaced by boldness. You're no longer moving from survival. You're moving from victory. And this victory was secured not because you never wavered, but because I never stopped fighting for you. Even when your faith trembled, mine remained unshaken. Even when you let go, I held on. Let this truth anchor you now. Your prayer didn't activate a transaction, it unveiled a relationship. You don't just have access to my blessings, you have access to me. And in me is everything you need. I don't just answer from a distance, I walk you into the promise. I don't just provide, I stay. I don't just restore, I multiply. And I don't just hear prayers, I inhabit them. You've waited long enough under the shadow of almost healed, almost delivered, almost joyful. But I am not the God of almost. I am the God of completion, and I am finishing what I started in you. There are no half promises in my kingdom. What I speak, I fulfill. What I begin, I perfect. And what I promise, I deliver with an excellence no hand can imitate. You are about to witness what it feels like to be surrounded by the fullness of a prayer answered in my timing. No more hoping with hesitation. No more walking on eggshells around my goodness. I want you to embrace this season with open hands and an open heart. Stop bracing for disappointment. That's not your story anymore. You've lived long enough with the residue of old wounds making you question new blessings. But I'm cleansing the lens through which you view my favor. I'm teaching your heart to trust me again, not out of desperation, but out of revelation. You now understand that I'm not just good in theory, I'm good to you. This is not about earning. This is not about striving. This is about positioning. When your heart aligns with my truth, everything else begins to move into place. That anxiety you feel when you're about to step into something new, it's not fear, it's expansion. You're stretching beyond the limitations you once agreed with. You're stepping into rooms your name was already written on. You're being called into assignments that were always yours but required a version of you that had to emerge through fire. The fire didn't burn you, refined you. The pressure didn't crush you, shaped you. The silence didn't punish you, taught you to hear me in ways noise never could. I have used every season, every quiet morning, every sleepless night, every unexpected shift to form a strength in you that can no longer be shaken. You're not fragile. You're forged. And that strength will be the container for the glory I'm pouring out now. You've asked me for provision, and I've already commanded it to find you. Not just enough to survive, but enough to overflow, enough to be generous, enough to bless others without fear of lack. I don't give in fragments. I give pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And as you steward what I release, more will come and because you chase it, but because you walk in alignment with my flow. You've asked me for healing, not just physical, but emotional. I've seen the places in you where old memories still sting like fresh wounds, where joy feels risky and peace feels foreign. But I'm stepping into those rooms now. Places you closed off because you thought I wouldn't understand. Places where shame tried to build a fortress. I'm tearing down every lie. You are not too broken to be whole. You are not too far gone to be restored. You are not too damaged to be deeply loved. You've asked me for clarity, for a sign, for direction, but my answer is not always in the lightning, it's often in the whisper. And that whisper has been speaking to you every day. In that feeling you couldn't explain. In that repeated word in a song. In the scripture that wouldn't leave your thoughts. I've been guiding you gently, not because I'm distant, but because I'm personal. I'm not yelling at you from the clouds. I'm walking beside you, matching your pace, adjusting your steps, and whispering, "This is the way. Walk in it." You've asked me for peace, real peace. Not the kind that disappears when circumstances change, but the kind that anchors you when nothing makes sense. And I've placed that peace within you. It's not something you wait to receive, it's something you carry now. Peace isn't the absence of problems, it's the presence of me. And I am here, not as a distant observer, but as a present father, fully aware, fully involved, fully invested in every breath you take. There will be moments where the past tries to pull you back into old patterns, where the enemy will whisper that you haven't really changed, that it's just a matter of time before you fall again. But I've erased the script he's reading from. That version of you is gone, buried, redeemed. You are not defined by what you were. You are defined by what I declared you to be, and I declared you free. I declared you whole. I declared you mine. Walk like it, talk like it, pray like it, lead like it, live like the answered prayer that you are. Because everything you need has already been accounted for. The table has been prepared. The door has been opened. The enemy has already been disarmed. The only thing left is for you to believe again, not just with your lips, but with your life. Let your days reflect the truth your spirit already knows. I am faithful, I am present, and I have already moved in your favor. There is no delay in my kingdom. What looks like waiting is often just the orchestration of something bigger than your eyes can see. While you were praying, I was positioning. While you were weeping, I was weaving. Not a second of your faith was wasted. Not a single tear fell unnoticed. Everything has been accounted for in my planet, in spite of your pain, but because of it. I use what tried to break you to build what will bless you. The world may have tried to convince you that you needed to be louder, stronger, more impressive to be seen, but I've seen you in your quiet moments, when no one was watching and still you remained faithful. I've seen you when you gave without recognition, when you prayed without applause, when you obeyed even when it cost you something. That hidden obedience carries a fragrance that reaches my throne. I don't forget, I don't overlook. I reward in due season, and that season is now beginning. Your story is not one of defeat. It's a testimony in progress. There were chapters the enemy tried to write in ink, as if they were permanent chapters of failure, abandonment, shame. But I have the final edit, and I've taken my pen and rewritten those chapters with grace. Grace that turns shame into honor. Grace that turns mistakes into momentum. Grace that pulls beauty from ashes and makes the broken shine brighter than the whole ever could. This is why you've been feeling an internal shift lately. A restlessness not from confusion but from destiny knocking. I'm calling you out of what felt safe but stale. I'm disrupting your comfort to awaken your calling. Because there are places you haven't yet walked into that have been waiting for your feet. There are people whose lives are connected to your obedience. This isn't just about you receiving blessings, it's about you becoming a vessel of it. Let me show you what multiplication looks like. What you release to me, I don't just return, I multiply. Your yes is not a small seed. It holds generational impact. What you plant in surrender will sprout in ways you never expected. I can use your obedience to shift atmospheres. I can use your small beginnings to launch great movements. I can take your hidden pain and turn it into healing for others. That's what happens when you walk with me. Nothing is wasted. I'm awakening dreams you buried because time made them seem impossible. I'm revisiting prayers you stopped praying because you thought I didn't answer. I didn't forget. I was preparing you. Sometimes the dream had to sleep until the dreamer was ready. And now, you're ready. Not because you have it all figured out, but because you finally learned to trust me when you don't. That kind of faith moves mountains. You don't have to manufacture a miracle. You just have to stay close to the one who performs them. I'm not asking you to understand everything. I'm asking you to follow me, even when the road curves, even when the light is dim, even when nothing around you confirms what you feel inside. Because faith walks before it sees, and you're walking into a land of fulfilled promises, one step of trust at a time. I've seen the battles you faced alone, the moments you stayed strong for others while feeling empty yourself. But now I'm filling the places in you that ran dry. I'm refreshing what's been exhausted. I'm replenishing what's been poured out. This is a season of divine exchange, your weariness for my strength, your anxiety for my peace, your striving for my sufficiency. There will be moments where fear tries to whisper that it's too good to be true, that you don't deserve this, that it won't last. Silence those lies with truth. You are not receiving this blessing because you were perfect, but because I am. My goodness is not based on your performance. It's based on my nature. And I am unchanging, unwavering, unstoppable in my love for you. Receive this truth like living water to your soul. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not a background character in someone else's miracle story. You are front and center in mine. I'm showcasing my glory through your life, not because of your status or skills, but because of your heart. A heart that kept believing when nothing made sense. A heart that stayed open when it would have been easier to shut down. A heart that said yes, again and again, even when the cost was high. So here's what I want you to do. Stand tall, not in pride, but in confidence, holy confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you are chosen, appointed, sealed, blessed. The kind that doesn't waver when people doubt or doors close or storms rise. Because your anchor is not in outcomes, it's in me, and I'm not going anywhere.